Hello and welcome to The Truth. This is episode 7. Now, as you can see, I have returned. Now, I am not doing my normal salute to the military and to the police because I have something special in mind. Speaking of which, this is my favorite band of all time. Now, Anthony Zucker, who created the CSI franchise, chose tracks from this band. CSI Las Vegas featured Who Are You? CSI Miami featured Won't Get Fooled Again. CSI New York featured Bob O'Reilly. His final show, CSI Cyber, featured I Could See for Miles. All tracks from The Who. Now, my very special salute to the troops involves this. I've been a fan of his since Forrest Gump. I love this guy. He was also the lead actor in CSI New York, Gary Sinise. And by the way, this is available at bookstores, Amazon, eBay, anywhere you look, any bookstore, he's going to be there, or if not, online. The beauty of it is, he does not collect a dime from anybody who buys the book. He doesn't collect a single dime. All the profits from his book go to his foundation in support of our troops. Now, if you deeply love our boys and want to help and support them, buy this. I'll give you a couple excerpts from the book. One thing he wanted to do was give back to bring back the veterans' problems and their sacrifice into the public consciousness. Now, he says back, and the word back embodies the reality that honoring veterans hasn't always been the norm in America. When our troops came home from World War II, they were given ticker tape parades, but when they came home from Korea, they were largely forgotten. And when they came back from Vietnam, they were greeted with anger, spat upon, called names, hit with wild up lunch sacks filled with feces. There were no welcome home parties for Vietnam vets. When our veterans returned from the first Gulf War, unlike Nam, they were greeted with giant parades in New York and a few other cities. Yet even though our country tried to make amends with Vietnam vets by supporting them as they created the Vietnam Memorial in D.C., and with some cities hosting in the mid-'80s a few welcome home parades, back then it was 94, I can still sense remnants of this rift in our country. Oh, even today, too. There's this still open wound for the veterans of the Vietnam War. Little do I know how significant this moment at the convention. Well, he went to a convention after he went to a convention for our veterans after he finished filming Forrest Gump, and in his role as Lieutenant Dan Taylor. At the convention will become in my life. Seeds are being planted that grow into a tree with many branches. For it's here that I first began to ask myself, how can I make a difference in restoring what's been lost? How can I help make sure our veterans are never treated in that way again? Now, here's I'm going to paraphrase Mr. Sinise with my salute. Here it is. To all, he wrote this on a wall at a base hospital. Now, to all who serve, whether at home or abroad, words cannot express. I am humbled by what you all do. Thanks from a grateful American and a grateful New Yorker, Nicholas Jason Feld. Once again, thank you. Moving along. Oh, You got the Miss USA, the Miss Universe pageant. Why do we need pageants today? I mean, women like my sister-in-law and my mother, they were women warriors. Okay, my sister-in-law is a woman warrior. My mother was a woman warrior. Meaning that us men, I mean, we're not cavemen anymore. We do not need beauty pageants, even child pageants. We don't need them anymore. What are they there for? It's a waste of time and a waste of money. Now, Donald Trump, President Trump. Okay, his father was Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, which was surprising to me because he's okay. Now, back in 1988 and 1992, this Klansman named David Duke ran for president ran for president in 88 and 92. Now, 30 years down the road, haven't we learned anything? That currently a son of a Klansman is running the country. Have we learned anything these last 30 years? I think we didn't. I don't know. Now, in wrestling back around 07, there's a rivalry between Donald Trump and Vince McMahon. It culminated. Actually, the climax of the story was WrestleMania 23. Now, Vince and Trump had to pick a wrestler. Vince's wrestler was Samoan. Trump's wrestler was, get this, black. Both wrestlers' names were Umaga and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley won. Vince lost his hair. Now, isn't it ironic that the son of a Klansman picks a black guy to represent him at WrestleMania? I think it's a funny irony. Also, speaking of Mania, my brother and I attended WrestleMania 29. And Donald Trump was part of their Celebrity Hall of Fame. And me, my brother, and 60,000 of us were chanting Trump for president. Boy, I feel like such an idiot doing that. To this day, in retrospect, I feel like an idiot. Oh. And in an earlier episode, I pointed out the sanctuary districts on Star Trek. Well, Trump said something in his speech. He goes, what are we going to do with the poor, the migrant workers or whatever? Put them in sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are real. They are real. Oh, and our good friend the president, he lets migrant workers clean Trump Tower and ever else with his name on it for nothing after hours. Why? I don't know. And moving on to religion, the Shroud of Turin. Is it fact or is it fiction? Some say it's Christ. Some say it's some guy from the 13th century or so. You decide whether the shroud is real or not. Moving right along to a discussion about the end of the world. Now, then Jesus, it's Matthew 24. Then Jesus went out and departed the temple, and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended and will betray one another, will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many, and become lawlessness. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many shall grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end will come. Now, fast forward to Matthew 35. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. But of that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Which means that, fear not, the Lord is with thee. Fear not, the Lord is with you. The message is clear. The Lord is with you. And in closing, I would like to once again, from a grateful American and a grateful New Yorker, thank you, men and women in the military and the first responders. Thank you so much. And that's it. Thanks for watching The Truth. Take care and peace out.